This has been a pretty amazing week in terms of stories breaking regarding an Internal Revenue Service agent who has become a whistleblower. And what he's blowing the whistle about is that there is apparent goings-on both at the IRS and the Department of Justice to protect Hunter Biden and to make sure that the light of day never shines upon not just Hunter's business dealings, but how those business dealings related to his father, Senator, Vice President, now President Joe Biden. And this whistleblower, if what he says can be validated, and his attorney says it can, would mean that the Attorney General of the United States, Merrick Garland, lied under oath before Congress. That's a pretty big deal. Let's watch this first clip regarding, and I think what makes this significant, this is a news report from, of all places, NBC.
Two senior law enforcement officials describing to NBC News growing frustration inside the FBI because federal investigators finished the bulk of their work about a year ago and suspect political interference is delaying the process.
Political interference. Now, the fact that NBC even reported that is breakthrough. Of course, when Karine Jean-Pierre at the White House is asked about it, predictable response. Watch.
What is the White House's message to employees who wonder if there should be political considerations when things affect the president's family?
So look, I want to be very clear here. As you know, the president respects the rule of law and the independence of the Department of Justice. He believes that's what they should be. In this administration, we believe that it should be independent.
She just irritates the stink out of me
I know she does.
Yeah, she always begins, I want to be very clear here. I want to be very clear. No, you don't. You don't want to be clear at all. You want to totally obscure everything you say, and she just did that. She tells us that the president respects the rule of law. I don't believe that for a moment. And when asked if President Biden is confident that Merrick Garland, the Attorney General, has done everything right, her answer is right out of her little book that she's reading from. Watch.
The president confident that his attorney general has upheld all the ethical obligations here when it comes to this investigation?
Again, the president has always been clear during the campaign, during his presidency, that the Department of Justice should have independence. They should not be politicized, and they should be able to do their job independently, essentially.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be done independently. There'll be no communication. And that's, by the way, what the IRS whistleblower is saying.
Yes.
That they've all been basically told to shut this down. I think we've got a super chat question.
Yeah, actually we
up.
did. That's exactly right. Charles F. was writing through his super chat today, do you think the IRS whistleblower will be allowed to testify?
In the House, yes. Senate, probably not. I think because the Republicans hold the House, and they've been showing some real spine over there. I mean, I got to hand it to Kevin McCarthy, Jim Jordan, James Comer, some of the chairmen of these committees. You know, they're not backing down. And thank goodness, that's what we begged them to do, was, you know, don't be just on a, quote, witch hunt, but find the truth. There's some things that the American people have a right to know about how their tax dollars have been used and whether or not their government officials are compromised with the Communist Chinese Party, or maybe they're compromised with corrupt business dealings. These aren't minor things, and these are not just partisan political things. I know sometimes people say, well, yeah, you're just going after them because they're Democrats. I'm telling you, this is bigger than either party. If you have a president who has been compromised to the point that he would not be able to take a strong position against communist China because his son is implicated with multi-million-dollar business deals of which you, the president, is getting a cut of the business, you better believe that matters to everybody, has nothing to do with whether a person is a Democrat or Republican.
I'm going to actually combine a couple of these questions because it relates to the hiring, or not so much, the additional IRS agents, okay?
Okay.
So Purple Haze is asking, Governor, what really is the reason for hiring so many additional IRS agents? And then Dale is saying, I'm a little confused, did the Republican House defund all of those extra IRS agents? So if you can kind of give us some clarity there.
Well, they've attempted to, and they have not included it in the funding. So as of now, it's still kind of up in the air. But I don't think it will get funded. At least I hope not. Maybe they can keep it from happening. Although, given the way that this administration has run, they may try to just take the money out of some pot that they don't have any authority to do and do it. And unless they get sued successfully, they may get away with it. But the bigger issue is, why would you hire 87,000 IRS agents? And why would part of the criteria to be to arm them and to ask them, are they willing to carry out a lethal penalty in the carrying out of their duties? And first of all, you're thinking, you're going to shoot somebody as an IRS agent because they didn't pay their taxes on time? I mean, I find that troubling. Now, maybe because they think, well, the IRS agent is going to be threatened. Why do you think that? Why are you sending an IRS agent to someone's home? Here's what I think we better realize. These IRS agents aren't being hired, as has been lied to us, to go after the billionaires. That's not going to happen. Why? Billionaires have a building full of lawyers and accountants whose sole purpose is to go through their taxes, and they really are doing two things. Now, some people say, oh, they're trying to cheat. No, they're not. I'll tell you why. Because if they cheat on a billionaire's taxes, he can't afford to lose not only his billions, but his freedom. So no, their purpose is not to see him cheat. Their purpose is to make sure that he complies with the law, but that he doesn't pay one penny more than he absolutely has to the government. Simple as that. Most of the time, a billionaire's taxes are pretty airtight. It's going to be very difficult to go through an audit and find something that is going to require that billionaire to pay more. Because again, they're thorough. And if they do get audited, those several hundred attorneys and accountants will show up and they'll make it more miserable for the IRS than the IRS will for the billionaire. You know who they're going to come after? They're going to go after the Uber driver. Because the Uber driver is in a gig economy where the question is he reporting all that income? What about the person who delivers pizza? What about the person who may work part-time, contract labor, doing some garden work? That's who they're going to come after. And the reason they're going to come after them because they're easy pickings. If they show up and say, we've determined that there's no way you could have only made $12,000 last year mowing lawns because you mowed too many lawns, and there's no way you can do that. So we've determined that you mowed enough lawns to make $40,000, and you owe us $6,000 in taxes. You don't have an attorney, you don't have an accountant, you can't afford one, and you'll end up coughing up $6,000. That's who they're going to come after. And anybody who thinks differently doesn't understand how the government works. The government doesn't spend money that they can't recover in a situation like that. So it's really tragic. If you enjoyed this video, I hope you'll consider clicking the subscribe button below and the notification bell next to it so you don't miss any of our future videos when they go up online.